Good morning. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on the series of the week that was college football history in review, the 1953 college football season. Now I'm going to be talking about recapping the games that were played on October 31st, 1953, week 7. So moving forward and progressing in the week that was as we recap the 1953 college football season. So we're going to look at the games that were played on October 31st, 1953. There was a shutout that was performed by Syracuse, 21-0 in favor of Syracuse over Holy Cross. 21-0 Syracuse over Holy Cross. It was a big day for quarterback Pat Stark, who threw for 137 yards on 7 of 15 passing, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Translated into a big day for Syracuse as Stark accounted for all 3 Orangemen touchdowns. Holy Cross, which suffered its 3rd straight shutout, came closest to scoring in point-free first half. On the last play of the second quarter, Crusaders quarterback Don Jolie, making his first start, pitched a parent touchdown to end Bob D, but D was ruled to have stepped outside end zone. In third quarter, Holy Cross halfback Pete Bianca sprinted 44 yards off tackle, but the threat died at Orange 25-yard line. From there, Syracuse scored in 7 plays as Stark hit halfback Bob Lieberman with 14-yard pass, then faked throw and spun through open field for a 49-yard touchdown run. So on the first snap of the fourth quarter, Crusaders relinquished ball at Orange 34-yard line on downs. Stark passed 49, 12 yards to halfback Bruce Yancey, latter for touchdown. Lieberman caught 48-yard touchdown pass from Stark just 2 minutes later. So Syracuse did shut out Holy Cross 21-0. Syracuse won that game 21-0 over Holy Cross. West Virginia beat Penn State by 1 point, 20-19, as the Nittany Lions roared to a 12-6 halftime game on a pair of touchdowns by quarterback Tony Rados, kicker run, and 46-yard pass to halfback Dick Jones. West Virginia, proud owner of the nation's longest winning streak, rallied in the third quarter to earn its 12th straight victory. So after the Mountaineers' Freddie Wyant, the quarterback, sneaked over, fullback linebacker Tommy Allman shot through to block punt that star tackle Bruce Bosley gobbled up in end zone for touchdown. Halfback kicker Jack Stone converted after each touchdown, so West Virginia University led 20-12. But Penn State halfback Ron Yonker slipped across goal line on a 20-yard touchdown catch from Rados to trim score to 20-19. Defensive back Stone, whose kicks spelled difference in scoring, doomed Lions' fate by nesting a State fumble at his own 10-yard line in the fourth quarter, and later England punt out of bounds at Lions' 8-yard line. Shutout was performed by the University of Fordham, beating Miami 20-0, recalling Polo Grounds' glory days of the 1930s when 7 blocks of granite dug in on New York home loan. Fordham rolled over surprise Hurricanes. Rams halfback Joe Yauch scored twice, including 40-yard punt return, and quarterback Roger France threw 19 yards to end Andy McCrelly for another score. Yauch wedged over from 1-yard line late in the first quarter, and McCrelly touchdown catch followed in the second quarter for a 13-0 halftime edge. Miami, who lost to number 2 Maryland and number 3 Baylor among its 3 prior Predators, showed it had gained little from those experiences because Hurricanes' pop gun offense penetrated Rams' territory only twice. Miami lost fumbles each time. Center linebacker Charlie Danielczuk was outstanding on defense and left Fordham fans to ponder comparisons to all-time Fordham great center linebacker Alex Wojcicki. Another shot was performed by Dartmouth over Yale 32-0 as sophomore quarterback Bill Beagle burned Yale's nation's leading defense for 4 touchdown passes as injury-riddled Dartmouth reversed worst start in its long football history. Stunned Yale was outgained 303 yards to 138 yards and entered Indians' territory only twice, with its deepest penetration coming near end of contest. The Eagles' touchdown passes went to Big Green halfback Luke Turner, who also caught 8 yards touchdown from sub quarterback Leo McKenna in second quarter for 31 yards in first quarter, and Dave McLaughlin for 17 and 20 yards each in third quarter. Halfback Jack Nicolette on brilliant grab in fourth quarter. So Indians' upset was anchored by alert defense that produced 2 interceptions, 6 fumble recoveries. Dartmouth recoveries by Turner at home 34-yard line tackle Everett Pearson at Yale 19-yard line. Center linebacker Paul Mackey at Eli's 16-yard line set up each of team's first 3 scores. Auburn beat Florida 16-7. Tigers leaped to 13-0 lead while his rough defense allowed Florida only single first down in first half. Auburn's bruising attack was anchored by quarterback Bobby Freeman, fullback Charlie Hadaway's 3-yard touchdown run at end of 54-yard drive as Tigers rode to 244 yards rushing and 141 yards passing. Freeman scored slippery touchdown in the second quarter when he dropped back to pass on fourth down and sprinted left to avoid Gator linebackers for 10-yard touchdown. Trailing 16-0, Florida powered 94 yards in closing minutes to fullback Joe Brodsky 2-yard touchdown, with key game coming on quarterback Fred Robson's pass to halfback Jackie Simpson. Alabama beat Georgia 33-12 as the slumbering Crimson Tide offense came alive, sparked by halfback Corky Tharp's long touchdown runs of 88 and 63 yards. Sophomore quarterback Bart Starr fired 3 touchdown passes for Alabama. Georgia halfback Bob Foots Clemens had a big day on ground, scoring touchdown. Meanwhile, Alabama defense did top job clamping down on Bulldogs aerial wizard quarterback Zeke Bukowski, who suffered 3 interceptions. Leader 13-12 in third quarter. Tide center linebacker Vince DeLaurentis swipe interception, dash 40 yards to score. An odd twist of future fate, Bukowski would understudy star on championship Green Bay Packers teams of the 60s. An odd twist of future fate, Bukowski would understudy star on championship Green Bay Packers teams of the 60s. Mississippi beat Louisiana State 27-16 as the Bengals were full of fight, taking 16-14 lead into the fourth quarter, but were worn down by speedy Rebels. Mississippi had open scoring on first of 3 long drives, going 68 yards to touchdown passes by quarterback Lee Pasley, who threw for 212 yards on 8-14 passing, a touchdown and interception to end Bob Adams for 7-0 lead. Stocky fullback Jerry Marchand ran for 90 yards and 11 carries brought LSU crowd to its feet and with pinball-like 49-yard touchdown run to tie it in the second quarter. At halftime, Ole Miss led 14-10 as last score of the second quarter came on LSU quarterback kicker Cliff Stringfield's 35-yard field goal after some good defensive work by Rebels guard Crawford Mims and tackle Dennis Ott stopped Tigers at 18-yard line. Freshman halfback defensive back Lou Deuceman made interception of Ole Miss backup quarterback Houston Patton and authored 85-yard touchdown return in the third quarter. Rebels launched 82-yard touchdown trip, starting with Pasley's 43-yard pass to end Bob Drury and riding mostly on inside runs by fullback Bobby McCool, who had 60 yards rushing on 15 carries late in the third quarter and cashed McCool's go-ahead touchdown in early dawn of the fourth quarter. Texas Tech defeated Mississippi State 27-20. Rock Rib Texas Tech front wall led by tackle Jerry Walker gave outstanding Mississippi State quarterback Jackie Parker full-fledged misery. It wasn't until late fourth quarter that harassed Parker truly found his passing range. Red Raiders had scored after opening kickoff on 85-yard drive capped by a touchdown run by halfback Don Lewis. Texas Tech led 13-0 at halftime, and well into the fourth quarter it enjoyed a 27-7 advantage as halfback Bobby Cavazos contributed greatly to Raiders' 327 yards rushing. Now, Tech touchdowns, however, were scored by 3 other backs: fullback Rick Spinks, halfback Tom James, and fullback James Sides. Bulldogs halfback Donald Joseph scored twice, 35-yard run in the third quarter and 26-yard pass from Parker in the fourth quarter. Now there was a scoreless tie that resulted in a matchup between Tulane and Army, 0-0. Rarely has ball dropped out of runners' hands as it did in the first quarter in New Orleans. Army dropped 4 fumbles and Tulane bobbled away 3 fumbles, and also it was in first quarter that Cadets lost their best chance to score. So Army went 52 yards to Green Wave 15-yard line on wings of quarterback Pete Vance throwing and halfback Tommy Bell's running. Van threw touchdown pass to end Bob Mischak, but offsides penalty nullified score. And 2 plays later, Tulane defensive end Eddie Bravo recovered Van's fumble at 10-yard line. Although Army advanced its offense 305 yards to Greene's 210 yards, key to upset deadlock was sharp sideline-to-sideline tackling by Tulane center linebacker Paul Rushing and guard linebacker Tony Sodisco. Wade's best chance came early in the fourth quarter when quarterback Pete Clement hit 2 passes to 8-yard line. But on fourth down, kicker Clement was forced to attempt field goal, which defensive star Mischak blocked a swift charge from left end. Wisconsin beat Iowa 10-6. It's crossing midfield only twice. Iowa still held fourth quarter lead of 6-3 on halfback George Dusty's Rice's 36-yard touchdown fourth down catch from quarterback Jerry Rico late in the second quarter. As Wisconsin considerably outgained Hawkeyes by 374 yards to 170 yards, but miscues, penalties, and fine defensive play of defensive end Frank Gilliam and quarterback defensive back Lou Makiewicz prevented any Badgers scoring other than tackle kicker Bill Miller's second quarter field goal. With 8 minutes left, Badgers launched 61-yard drive as quarterback Jim Miller fired over middle for halfback Harlan Call, exploited apparent interception. Iowa fullback defensive back George Binky Broader batted past twice in full stride, only to have it pop into the hands of Carl, who had easy time finishing 38-yard touchdown when Broder slipped. Shutout was performed by the Oklahoma Sooners over Kansas State 34-0. As the Big 7 conference titles dreams of long-suffering Kansas State fans were dashed quickly on homecoming in Manhattan, unbeaten in 3 conference tilts so far in 1953, Wildcats were helpless to prevent Oklahoma line from tearing big holes for runners quarterback Gene Kalane, halfbacks Larry Grigg, and Bob Herndon. Sooners rushed for 424 yards and made 24 first downs, even though their passing attack tallied no completions in 4 tries. Oklahoma took opening kickoff, covered 79 yards in 19 plays to Grigg's 3-yard touchdown run. So in the second quarter, OU went 70 yards in 7 plays as Herndon zipped through block of guard J.D. Roberts for 15-yard quick opener touchdown. Grigg scored again in third quarter after the 80-yard march. Kansas State threatened only in last minute of contest as quarterback Bob Whitehead nailed in Wilbur Stocks with 33-yard pass at Sooners 4-yard line, but the vain end zone pass on next play brought final whistle. Kentucky beat Rice 1913 as the favorite Owls led 7-6 at halftime on halfback Dickie Mogul's 5-yard touchdown sweep around left end. Up and down Kentucky used quarterback Bob Hardy's 32-yard touchdown pass to halfback Steve Mellinger and halfback defensive back Joe Platt's 45-yard interception touchdown return with blocking possession midway in third quarter to take 19-7 lead. End zone interference penalty placed Rice at Wildcats 1-yard line, and fullback Cassie Johnson slammed over for touchdown that got the Owls close in fourth quarter at 19-13. To make matters worse, Rice, playing outside its Southwest Conference, was helpless to stop players' claim of undisputed conference lead with its 25-7 win over TCU. Next, UCLA beat California by a score of 20-7. Tailback Paul Cameron was different in the second half as number 10 Bruins beat Big Brother Golden Bears visiting from Bay Area. Punter Cameron had boom. Long punt to pin California deep in its first quarter. So UCLA defensive line quickly stacked up Bears quarterback Paul Larson. And as a result, UCLA took punt on own 43-yard line. Cameron whipped 13-yard pass to end Myron Berliner and dashed 15 yards to 1-yard line, point from which fullback Bob Davenport vaulted into the end zone for 7-0 lead. So in the second quarter, Larson found his throwing rhythm and hit passes of 17 yards to end Joe Hibbs, 15 yards to halfback Al Talley, and 17 yards to end Jim Carmichael to UCLA's 10-yard line. Larson sneaked over on fourth down to create 7-7 deadlock 25 seconds before halftime. So Bruins took second half kickoff and mounted 66 yards drive on Cameron's 12 and 8-yard passes and wingback Bill Stitt's 16-yard reverse run to Cameron's 3-yard touchdown run. Later in the third quarter, defensive back Cameron made 22-yard interception return to Bears' 36-yard line and followed with battering 15-yard run up middle after fighting through fierce pass rush. Drive was capped by Cameron's 6-yard touchdown pass to Stitz. And finally, Oregon beat Southern California 13-7 in Portland. Adaptable quarterback George Shaw, who had set NCAA interception record as defensive back in 1951 and Pacific Coast Conference completion record as quarterback in 1952, oddly switched to end for Oregon to snare 16-yard touchdown pass at right flag in the second quarter. Shaw contributed 2 more catches from reserve quarterback Barney Holland on winning fourth quarter drive that was capped by 3 line cracks from 12-yard line by halfback Walt Gaffney for the winning touchdowns. To start winning drive, Webfoot's gained possession of USC 48-yard line when punt snap went astray from Trojans tailback punter Desmond Koch. Falling from unbeaten ranks, Trojans lost ball on downs at Ducks 5-yard line after fullback Addison Hawthorne led game's opening drive and got their sole touchdown after second half kickoff on 4th down and 1, dive by tailback Aramis Dandoy, which earned 7-7 tie. Dandoy halfback Lyndon Crow was lost to his second half injuries. Regardless of USC's on-field cast, center linebacker Ron Feister and guard Jack Patera led Oregon's defense, which never again buckled. So Ducks sophomore halfback defensive back Dick James put final nail in Southern California's coffin with interception with 2 minutes to play. So that concludes a look at the games that were played on October 31st, 1953. The AP poll on November 2nd had Notre Dame at number 1, Maryland at number 2, Baylor at number 3, Illinois at number 4, Michigan State at number 5, Georgia Tech at number 6, West Virginia at number 7, Oklahoma at number 8, UCLA at number 9, number 10 Duke, number 11 Stanford, number 12 Mississippi, number 13 Minnesota, number 14 Kentucky, number 15 Auburn, number 16 Ohio State, number 17 was a spot that was shared by Michigan and Southern California, number 19 Texas, and number 20 was Alabama. So that concludes a look at the games that were played the week that was college football week in review. College football's history in review, the 1953 college football season. I took a look at and recapped the games that were played on October 31st, 1953, week 7. You can support by subscribing to the channel, like the videos, and comment. Make a comment, feel free. I like to see what's going on with that. But this is the conclusion of this video, as far as that is concerned. And support, subscribe, like, and comment. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel as I concluded another part of the week that was college football history in review, 1953 college football season, week 7, October 31st, 1953. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.